Okay, so this is going to be a spiritual reading. Like, what does God... Well, I guess ask yourself, however Spirit... What does the spirit realm have for you? What messages does the spirit realm have for you? Okay? So at the end, I'm going to pull 3 cards from Healing with the Fairies Oracle and see what they have to say. You can ask questions if you would like for the fairies and see what comes up at the end. You can either do 3 questions or take the whole 3 as a collective. However you'd like to do that. Alright, so parenting and children flipped out. There might be something going on. And dreams coming true also. It was upside down. So, maybe there's some dreams and stuff that you have going on around. Oh, okay, so whatever your dreams are, focus upon those. There's something special and unique in parenting and children. So whatever your relationship is around children, if you're not a parent, like if you got nieces and nephews or cousins or even kids that look up to you. There's something around that. Alright. Over here. What messages and guidance do you have for all viewers? What is spirit? What messages for spirit? What messages does spirit have for all viewers? Okay. Knight of Swords in reverse. Right now, there may be, well, with all this stuff, this COVID-19 stuff going on, right now you may not feel like you don't have any direction. You know, this card can also represent a disregard for consequence, but, I mean, what kind of... There's not too much of consequence that can go on right now when you're, like, stuck at home. So you may not even be aware of, like, you could just be feeling so free and so fly that that's what... That could be how it feels right now. Alright, so the challenge, what's blocking you is this new beginning. Something's not starting. And you may be getting complacent with where you are right now. Just because I would say that you, there was something you wanted to start, but it just like it didn't or wasn't able to go through. There is healing going on right now on a spiritual, like a spirit level. You know, this is Archangel Gabriel coming in to, like, he's pouring healing water in that cup. He's got his hands in the energy right now. So the angelic realm is definitely coming through for you. I would definitely say that, like, the angels, especially if you feel pulled toward Archangel Gabriel, he is definitely doing something in your life to help bring in some balance. And, you know, this could also be, too, that, like, if you... This could be a sense that you already feel. Like, if you feel like even though some things may somewhat be chaotic, they you may not know where you're going to go just yet. Some things, whatever's going on around you, there is some form of healing, like something coming in from the spirit realm here, where you're starting to see like the meaning in life. Either some events have conspired, or you yourself have received some type of healing and or download, and you're starting to like see the middle path, the good and the bad. You're starting to find the meaning in life. You are more centered and acclimated within this new change of how things are going. You had some confusion in the past, definitely. This here could be 2 moon cycles ago, like on a new moon. So this could have been back in February. Something happened then, brought you confusion. You weren't really sure about which way to go and or what to do, and so it just it's put you into this energy now, whatever that is, which, I mean, could definitely be understandable. Right now at this time, I would say things aren't flowing. Your wishes, you're not really seeing the fruition of your desires just yet and there's a lot of healing in this. So it actually, I mean, it's okay at this moment. I wouldn't let, just because like the things that you want, just because they're not coming through just yet, I wouldn't necessarily let this make you turn sour. Because as I say with like giving and receiving, what you do, what you sow, what you reap. These cards have the good side and they have the bad side. Or they have, this is what you want, but the time's not right just yet. So don't let that, and I feel like it's just the times aren't right yet for all of our hopes and desires to come through just yet. So let me see what's over here. Okay, so then we have the devil. Okay, so here's the deal. Keep in mind, I can't sugarcoat anything, okay? It could be that, okay, now I'm getting it. Okay, sometimes it takes me a second, I apologize. This is all about materialism, playfulness, pleasure, and addiction, okay? Now, we have this devil energy here. I don't mean to scare any of you, so please don't get scared here. But what I'm saying is that because things aren't moving or flowing just yet the way we would prefer them go, things aren't starting up. It looks like what we're moving toward in the future, like the next 3 weeks, okay? There is going to be temptation. There's going to be a focus on material things. This is, toxicity, the devil's energy. So the devil, and I'm not saying like, you're going to get possessed and you're going to perform exorcism or some shit like that, okay? But I do feel that sometimes we are tested. And this could definitely be one of those. And it could be because of things not going and moving on a spiritual level, what we're trying to manifest, what we want in our life. Things aren't moving. And there's a reason why. there's a reason why things aren't moving. And yes, it is this COVID-19 thing, okay? But I almost feel like this COVID-19 thing, I wonder if we're going to see the judgment card in this deck. But there's something on the angelic realm that's going on here. So it's like you got to kind of like let heaven do its thing. Like sit back, relax, let heaven do its thing a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there because like for me and what I've got going on in my life right now, like I asked for this. I didn't ask for COVID-19, okay? I did not ask for that. What I asked, like, back in February, okay, back in February, I believe it was February, and then I'm seeing a 3 right here, so that makes me think, like, the, Jesus, the Ascended Masters. I started asking, and it definitely could have been those 2 moon cycles ago. I started asking myself because I had been getting like overloaded with work, getting into a routine, having to work every day, having to do shit. Now there was a time in my life, however long ago, where I didn't have a job, like what you would call like a 9-to-5 job, you know, an actual like clocked in job. You got a paycheck every Friday. I didn't have that. I did work, and when I worked with my oils, and I had several clients that I worked with, and it was a great time in my life, okay? I worked from my house. I could set my own hours. I could pretty much come and go as I pleased. The bills got paid each month. I mean, it was amazing. That was a great time in my life. And I asked myself a couple months ago, like, why couldn't I just go back to that? Like, I loved that. I was happy. I mean, it was like the best. I would just want to get back into something like that, where I'm not having to, you know, like struggle or work as hard. And, like, shoot, here we are. So I feel like I'm at home now. I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do when I asked those questions. Why can't I just go back to that and do that? Well, guess what? Here I am. I'm doing just that. And I'm going to tell you, when this thing struck its chord, I was like, I mean, I definitely don't hope and pray and think, you know, that people are going to die and whatnot, or that, you know, the whole world's going to get wiped out. But I was just thankful for the fact that my wish has come true. I get to sit at home and do nothing. Like, my life is great. Okay? Like, it's great. I have, like, time to do what I wanted to do, and here it is. I'm back down to the basics. I'm back to where I was. I'm back to where I wanted to be at that time of my life where it was so great. And now that I'm in it, it's like, okay, I don't want to lose this. Not saying that I don't want to go back to work and I don't want to do this or I don't want to do that. It's like, now that I got back to the basics of where my life was grand, now that my life is grand, what can I do now to move forward and maintain this life is grand type of environment? And so I have definitely made some changes. I have realized some new like desires and new passionate endeavors to do. Now I've got a new perspective. Now I know where I want to go. It just may not be the time to move forward with them just yet. Like, you have all the wishes, like all these desires coming up right now. It's just not like the time to act on them just yet. So you may feel like, yes, like Nine of Cups reversed, like it's not happening, it's not coming through, and that's okay. It's not meant to just yet. There is something here on like the angelic realm that has come in and done something. So I just feel like as we move forward in this, because you got to keep in mind, folks, when Jesus went, he was on a mission when he walked through the desert and was tempted by the devil. He was going somewhere. He walked 60 miles. I think it was like 60 miles. He walked through the desert like 60 miles. Okay? And sometimes people complain just about walking from here 15 steps over there just to sit down. Like, Jesus walked 60 miles in sandals and flip-flops now across the desert. And yes, the devil came up and tempted him. Now I'm going to tell you this, okay? If you feel, because I can break out in the preaching point on this side of the dynamic. If you feel like, once this, and I don't know why this would occur. I mean, I'll throw some cards down in a minute. We'll see, like, why this devil energy might be popping up. But the thing that I'm seeing here is, it's like, once you start going, you may have things of the past pop up, like, oh, you sure you don't want to let this go? Let me wave this right. You sure, isn't this right here satisfying? Do you remember this? Doesn't this seem appealing? You sure you don't want to go back over here? Type deal. And just because things aren't moving forward for you, it's like, just because you feel like the new things or desires that you want aren't coming to fruition, don't resort back to old ways of woe. Because I do feel like this is a tempting energy. This is like being focused on the material realm. And since you're watching this for a spirit or spiritual reading, I have to tell you, and I've said this quite a few times, I love the book of Isaiah. Okay, in the book of Isaiah, he tells us, and I'm paraphrasing here, that you have a choice in life. You have a choice to either choose the physical realm or the spirit realm. Like, if you choose the physical realm, you will have suffer, you will have pain, you will have loss, and you will scream out to God and ask Him, why did this happen to you? But because you have chosen the physical realm, you will not have the ears to hear God when He answers your call. You will not have the eyes to see God when He comes to you. And you will not have the heart to feel Him even when He reaches out to you. Which would be like this blindfold. It's like you can't see, you can't hear, and you can't speak almost. But in the spiritual realm, even like if you choose the spiritual realm, you will have abundance, freedom. I mean, everything. You'll have everything that spirit has to offer you. And like, even if stuff, let's say, that is labeled bad, that does happen, because when you choose the spiritual realm, you learn and train yourself not to focus on the physical. You are attached, but you are detached. It's like non-attachment. You don't have attachments. You've let go of attachments. You have let go of expectations. Because those are of ego, physical, that realm. So when you let go of those things and you are free from them, which is what the spirit realm gives you, then that's when you start to lean not on your own understanding, but you lean on God's understanding and His knowledge, His wisdom. You allow those things to encompass you. So like, you understand that in the spiritual realm, you understand that things happen on the physical level. But because of the spiritual realm, you have trust and faith in a higher purpose. Not in yourself, but in the spiritual realm, that it has always and will always reign supreme. You are just a person on the path to discovering that. So if you can lead not into your own understandings, your own knowledge, but lean into God, the spiritual realm, for that, then when things don't work out, you'll have an understanding. And it might just be a small understanding, but something about you will have peace about it. because you'll have that awareness. You know, it's not always about you. There's always a bigger picture at play going on. And you know, like, even with this, like, if things come up to you, if you're presented with options, if you feel like they are toxic, if you feel like, even if you feel like the devil is at hand and he has his hand in that, he's tempting you, there's two things that you can do. One, and I think I said this in my daily card reading one time, one of those daily card messages, and I'll get back to doing those at some point in time. When things come at you, you can literally say the same thing as that Jesus said to Satan. Like, get thee behind me, Satan. Or get behind thee, Satan. However Jesus said it to the devil. He told Lucifer, like, get behind me. Get out my way. You ain't tempting me today. Get behind me. It's written, even you will answer to your Father. Like, it was written, like, that was said and put in stone even before the Bible was put together. That was written and set in stone before even Jesus said what he said. We're speaking, this was put in stone even before Jesus. The devil does have to answer to God. And will always have to answer to him. And if you are a child of God, and you look at him and say, get behind me, get out my way. Well, I'm a child of God. I had the power to tell this entity right here, this thing, this energy, to get behind me and get out my way, because you are a child of God. You can also do as Matthew says. Jesus says in the book of Matthew, if you have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, then all you have to do is look at whatever that thing is and say, because I'm going to tell you something, okay? Sometimes things can present itself to us as like mountains. And as long as you have faith and believe, like Jesus, like I just said, you can look at it and say, because it looks like a mountain, you shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove. So if something comes at you that you don't want, you don't believe in, you feel like it's tricky, you don't want nothing to do with it, look at it either through meditation, through your third eye, either out loud, wherever you are. Remove hence to another place, and it shall remove. Okay? On a spiritual level, and you know, this is just for me, but it's for whoever needs to hear it. You know, when I feel or sense or have this keen eye of things coming at me, or like, there is nothing stronger than the power of prayer. Okay? Nothing stronger. I had a situation where someone came by my house. It was on a dirt bike. It's actually a neighbor's son who's young. And he's my son's age. And my son wasn't here, so he went on down the road. Well, I watched him go back down the road toward his house. They had just cut some trees down across the street from me, and the kid stopped and looked down in there and was like backed up, drove his dirt bike down in there, and I got uneasy. I was like, when I saw this, I did not like how it made me feel, and all that I knew I could do at that moment was start praying. And I did. I started praying, and you know, for a second I was like, please protect him and please keep him safe while he's down there. But then I thought, I gotta take it deeper than that. I started saying, please let him make smart decisions. Let him be responsible. I can't remember exactly how I worded it, but I said a few things, and then I said, let him make smart decisions. And as soon as the word decisions came out of my mouth, he popped up out of the woods on his dirt bike, and like nothing had happened, and went right on down the road. And I was like, praise God. Thank you. So it's like, you know, you see things come at you. I don't care who's watching, but I put my hand up and I'll start like, Jesus, I need you to come up in here, give me some patience, help this person, something. The power of prayer is wonderful. You may want to start working on your power of prayer, because on a spiritual realm, I feel like whatever it is that we're going through with this COVID-19 and wherever we end up, because this is somewhat shape or form in the realm of what our outcome is over here. There's going to be some things coming in tempting you and teasing you and trying to show their ugly head, especially like things where you may have had things that have had chains on you from the past, whether it be people or jobs or regardless of what it was. Something of the physical realm is what this is. You may want to start, I mean, this is a spiritual reading, you know, get more, work out with your spiritual practice more, fine tune it a little bit better. Your advice, this Ace of Wands. Now, you know, aces are like, this is having some new energy, some new desires, like new things coming in. But, you know, right now, you may have a lack of energy, a lack of passion. You might even be bored, you know. And look, with these two right here, I think that's fine right now. Okay? In your... Boy. It can get deep on us, can it? So in your environment, there's some things trying to end. And that could very well be why this Devil card's coming up. You know, things are trying to come to an end. You could be putting some things to this end, because here's the Fool's energy. You know, you're looking to, gosh, yep. Because look, we got the White Rose and the White Rose. Both two white roses right here. So, you know, there are just some things out here in the environment that are trying to come to an end. They are coming to an end. I would say that you wanted these things to come to an end. Now, God, look, there's that Judgment card. Didn't I say? I'm surprised this card didn't come out. Here it is, because, I mean, check it. Both of these are the same person. This is both Archangel Gabriel right here. Okay? So, you're going to have hopes and fears around whether things from the past can be resurrected, or whether there be a new beginning, or whether something can start back. But the thing is, like, with this energy here, you definitely have some fears around, you know, doubt, things not, and you know, and it's alright, because we don't really have full awareness on the situation right now. We are somewhat in the dark. I mean, who the heck knows when things are going to get back to normal, and who the heck knows what even that normal is going to mean. You know, I feel like our normal is soon going to be elevated, transformed into something different, which is good, because we all need change. It's just that, let's see what this outcome is. Okay. Well, whatever it is, there's going to be some juggling involved. But this juggling is something that can be handled. I mean, you're going to have good times, you're going to have bad times. When I said good times, I automatically pointed to the upswing, you know. So it's like, I feel like the good times are going to be better than the bad times. But, you know, this bad time right here could actually be, because there are, and they're both, these two are sitting the same way. So, you know, there's going to be some good and the bad, but you got to take the good with the bad, regardless. That's like, you know, you got to, everything has contrast. That's how we grow. It's how we learn. It's how we evolve. So you've got to embrace the contrast. You've got to love the contrast. It's how you maintain balance. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle 2 times. And then I think I said I was going to do this. Oh, Lord. Okay. So, whatever... So these wishes and things that we have, it looks like some choice words or something was spoken in the past, which caused someone to move on and leave this energy behind, looking for this here. Someone, and it looks also too like somebody, this could be happening right now too, because someone was, you know, of the page level on immaturity. They went through something, they moved on from it, and it's now made them mature into this. But while you're maturing, you don't exactly know what that maturity is just yet. But you are looking with an optimistic, and I told y'all, boy, optimism, okay, it's powerful. You are looking to your horizon for those things. And there they are around this time. So, are your, here's a question for you. Are your wishes and hopes and desires, are they materialistic? I mean, you'll be able to manage whatever it is. Okay, whether, because I told you earlier, the good and the bad. But just keep in mind that if your desires are more on the materialistic, physical, you just got to keep in mind that what comes along with the physical, there is pain, there is suffering, there is strife, there is death on the physical. On the spiritual, there is resurrection. So whatever these desires and things that you are moving toward, asking for, whatever you're asking for, they are going to cause some form of contrast. Now, would you be able to handle the contrast? Yes. But I just don't know the depth of that contrast and what it's going to be. Alright, so I'll do these. Okay. So, with the toxic materialism stuff and the healing that's taken place down here and this so-called lack of direction that we don't really have, we've got the Hermit in reverse. So this means that you went through a period of isolation where you really looked at some things. You could have looked at that star. There's a star there in his lantern. I don't know if you can see it or not. I haven't. Okay, so there's a star in his lantern. You have gotten clarification, illumination around something. And it has caused you to let go of whatever the things that you were holding on to. And you've now, I would say, grown into this courageous, determined, passionate, joyful person. Regardless, like, since the healing is here, it's like you've got heaven below you and some toxicity here hovering. And then let's do our outcome. Alright, so the balancing act that we're going to have on a spirit level. Okay, I feel like this involves people. So, yes, you'll be able to, in a sense, balance. Okay? You'll be able to juggle it. But you're going to have people that are not apologetic about how things went in the past. So don't expect to get apologies out of everybody, okay? You may encounter some people because of probably this COVID, the way things have changed. You know, this is impacting everyone. And it's not like just people in a certain region or a certain area. This is like affecting people, like the whole world is affected, you know? So some people are going to have some emotional immaturity about this. Some people are going to have like disappointments. They're going to feel insecure because they don't know what's coming, what's not coming. This time period evidently has needed to happen because someone needed a different perspective. Somebody needed to see something different. And it's like, you know, they're coming out of this limbo area. They now can see differently. And there are going to be a lot of people that don't want to fight, that have like given up. They're like, I'm not struggling. They don't want to struggle. So that could very well be the type of people that you deal with coming out of this. And then I'm looking at this. There could very well be, you know, a balance. There's going to be change. New offers coming in. I would say that, you know, I'm just looking at the bottom of the deck here. I always look at it for finishing messages on this reading here. Some way, shape, or form, things are going to pick up. Now, how they're going to, in what way they will pick up, I don't know. But whatever it is, it will be balanced. I feel like whatever material or earthly things you have, they will be balanced. There's definitely going to be change, because we got the Tower. There are going to be messages of love that come about. And, you know, this may be, and then we've got the Knight of Rods. So both of these are messages. There may be messages of, that open your heart, that give you like the butterflies, or just to make you happy. These are messages coming in, like this energy. So you could be hearing some new offers or something. And then let's see what the fairies have to say for us. So the first card, dreams coming true. This card came out during the pre-shuffle. So here it is again, dreams coming true. Be honest with yourself. Only you know what it is that you want. So you got to be honest with yourself on what that is. Like, what is it that you actually want? How do you feel about certain things? Look into your feelings. And then our last one is positive expectations. So yes, definitely have positive expectations, because those will definitely lead you. And then we have detoxification. So you might need to detox, or you might already be detoxing. Like I'm doing a detox, a cleanse. You know, I have to remind myself, because since I started this cleanse like 2 weeks ago, there have been some days that I wake up irritated, tired, and you know, it's because your body has to, when you're tired and irritated, or you're ill and aggravated, you know, those are days right there when you got to ask yourself first, so you know, what do I feel? How do I feel? You then know if you're tired or irritated. You don't need to be around certain people that trigger you. Or if you are around those people and you can't help it, then you've got to focus on that virtue. How can you be compassionate? How can you be the bigger person? What can you do to help? Days that you feel like that, you more than likely are, especially like on a quantum physics level, you are detoxing your cells in your body. Your body itself is having to go through something to be a process to process the energy, to be able to grab the energy and then release it. So there's a process it goes through. And when you feel that way, it is because you have taken on someone else's energy. You have, it could even boil down to the foods that you took in the day before. Because if you're not eating clean, then you've got chemicals that your body has to process, and I mean, that's in a whole different thing itself. So just be aware of that as you move through this process, okay? So I hope you enjoyed that. Feel free to comment. Thank you all. Take care, and namaste.